Children, today's lesson, Chasing the Sea Monster, is a passage taken from the novel, that is a book or you can say a storybook called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This book is written by Jules Verne. He was a French writer. Jules Verne was a French writer. He is known as the father of science fiction. He wrote about rockets, space, travel, and submarines when such things were unknown. In this passage from his novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, he describes how people on a ship think of the submarine as an animal and try to chase and hunt it. Chasing the Sea Monster. Our frigate wanted to go back, but the unearthly animal came at us with a speed double our own. We gasped, more stunned than afraid. We stood mute and motionless. The animal caught up with us, played with us. It made a full circle around the frigate and wrapped us in sheets of electricity that were like luminous dust. At any instant, it could have dashed against our ship. Meanwhile, I was surprised to see that our warship was fleeing, not fighting. I commented on this to Commander Farragut. His face, ordinarily so emotionless, showed great astonishment. Frigate means small, speedy ship used in war. Unearthly means strange, not like those found on Earth. Luminous, bright, full of light. Fearsome, scary, frightening. Crew, people working on the ship. Stunned, so shocked that one is temporarily unable to react. Motionless, not moving. Instant, happening or coming immediately. Fleeing, run away from. Ordinarily, usually. Astonishment, great surprise. Children, in this passage we see that there is a ship, and this ship is commanded by Commander Farragut. This ship encounters or sees a sea animal. This animal plays with them and keeps going round and round the ship, and it seems like the ship is wrapped in a bright light. The crew of the ship feel that the animal can dash against the ship any time. The ship, instead of fighting with the animal, was trying to go away from it. Professor Aronnax, he answered me. I don't know what kind of fearsome creature I'm up against, and I don't want my frigate running foolish risks in all this darkness. Besides, how should we attack this unknown creature? How should we defend ourselves against it? Let's wait for daylight, and then we will play a different role. The whole crew stayed on their feet all night long. No one thought of sleeping. Unable to compete with the monster's speed, our frigate, the Abraham Lincoln, slowed down. For its part, the animal mimicked the frigate, simply rode with the waves, but did not leave the field of battle. However, near midnight it disappeared, or to use a more appropriate expression, it went out like a huge glowworm. Had it fled from us, we didn't know, and were filled with fear and hope at the same time. But at 12:53, a deafening hiss could be heard, resembling the sound made by a waterspout expelled with tremendous intensity. Fearsome, scary, frightening. Crew, people working on the ship. Foolish, lacking good sense or judgment, or unwise. Unknown, not known. Compete, be able to rival another. Mimicked, imitate. Appropriate, suitable or proper in the circumstances. Fled, run away from. Resembling, having a similar appearance. Expelled, force out. Tremendous, very great in amount, scale, or intensity. Intensity, the quality of being intense. When the narrator in this lesson, children, is Professor Aronnax. He asked the commander why they were fleeing or running away rather than fighting. The commander said that since they do not know what kind of animal it is, they should wait till it is daytime before they do anything. The crew of the ship stayed awake the entire night. Now, the name of this ship was Abraham Lincoln. This ship was not able to outrun the animal, and therefore it slowed down. Near midnight, the animal disappeared, but at 12:53 a loud sound could be heard which sounded similar to water being pushed out with great intensity. By then, Commander Farragut, Ned Land, and I were on the afterdeck, peering eagerly into the darkness. "Tell me, Ned Land, isn't that the noise cetaceans make when they spurt water from their blowholes?" "The very noise, sir, but this one's way louder, so there can be no mistake. There's definitely a whale lurking in our waters." Near 2 o'clock in the morning, the core of light reappeared, 5 miles away from Abraham Lincoln. We stayed on the alert until daylight, getting ready for action. Whaling gear was set up along the railings. Our chief officer loaded the blunderbusses, which can launch harpoons as far as a mile, and long duck guns with exploding bullets that can wound and kill even the most powerful animals. Ned Land was content to sharpen his harpoon, a dreadful weapon in his hands. Cetaceans, marine animals like a whale, lurking, hiding, afterdeck and open deck towards the stern of a ship, peering, look with difficulty or concentration at someone or something, spurt, gush out in a sudden and forceful stream, core, the part of something that is central to its existence or character, alert, the state of being watchful for possible danger, blunderbusses, a short, large boat gun firing balls or slugs, launch, hurl forcefully, exploding, burst or shatter violently and noisily, content, satisfy, dreadful, extremely bad or serious. In this passage we see that this animal is being compared to a whale. Near 2 o'clock in the morning, the light reappeared. The entire crew started getting ready to hunt this whale. Everything that they would need to hunt the whale was being prepared. At 6 o'clock, day began to break, and with the dawn's early light, the animal's electric glow disappeared. At 7 o'clock, a very dense morning mist spread around us. Our best spyglasses were unable to pierce it. The outcome? Disappointment and anger. At 8 o'clock, the mist rolled away, and the horizon grew wider and clearer. Suddenly, Ned Land's voice could be heard. "There's the thing in question, Aston to port," the harpooner shouted. Every eye looked toward the point indicated. There, a mile and a half from the frigate, a long blackish body emerged a meter above the waves. Quivering violently, its tail was creating a considerable current. Dawn, the first appearance of light in the sky before sunrise. Dense, thick. Mist, a cloud of tiny water droplets suspended in the atmosphere at or near the Earth's surface that limits visibility. Pierce, force a way through. Horizon, the line at which the Earth's surface and the sky appear to meet. Aston, behind or toward the rear of a ship or aircraft. Port, the side of a ship or aircraft that is on the left when one is facing forward. Emerged, move out of or away from something and become visible. Quivering, trembling or shaking with a slight rapid motion. Considerable, notably large in size, amount, or extent. At 6 o'clock in the morning, the animal's light disappeared. By 7 o'clock, a very thick mist spread everywhere and affected visibility. Because they were not able to see, the entire crew was disappointed and angry. By 8 o'clock, the mist surrounding the ship disappeared. Ned Land was able to spot the sea animal. The crew saw a blackish body emerge above the waves. The crew were waiting impatiently for orders from their leader. The latter, after carefully observing the animal, ordered the engineer to sail full steam towards the animal. 3 cheers greeted this order. The hour of battle had sounded. A few moments later, the Abraham Lincoln headed straight for the animal. Unconcerned, the latter let us come nearer. It got up a little speed and kept its distance. This chase dragged on for about 3/4 of an hour without the frigate getting any closer to the sea animal. At this rate, it was obvious that we would never catch up with it. The Abraham Lincoln gathered speed, but so did the animal. This went on for the next hour. The Abraham Lincoln was now speeding so much that its masts trembled down to their blocks. Meanings: sail full steam, sail at full speed. Impatiently, in a restlessly eager manner. Observing, watch carefully and attentively. Unconcerned, showing a lack of worry or interest. Must, a tall upright post, spar or other structure on a ship or boat. In sailing vessels, generally carrying a sail or sails. In this passage, we see that the commander gave orders to sail towards the animal. But the animal was not concerned or worried that the ship was approaching it with such great speed. The animal increased its speed whenever the ship increased its speed. What a chase! No, I can't describe the excitement that shook my very being. Ned Land stayed at his post, harpoon in hand. Several times the animal let us approach. Then, just as the harpooner was about to strike, the cetacean would steal off swiftly. Commander Farragut then decided to use more direct methods. "Bah!" he said. "So that animal is faster than the Abraham Lincoln. All right, mate, man the gun in the bow." Our forecastle cannon was immediately loaded and leveled. The cannoneer fired a shot, but his shell passed some feet above the cetacean, which stayed half a mile off. "Over to somebody with better aim," the commander shouted, "and $500 to the man who can pierce that infernal beast." Meanings: steal off, move away, mate, assistant. Steal off swiftly means to leave or depart from some location or situation very quickly and quietly. Forecastle, the forward part of a ship below the deck. Infernal, irritating and tiresome. In this passage, we see that Ned Land is ready with his harpoon to attack the animal. But whenever the ship would get close enough to attack, the animal would move quickly away. The commander then decided to use cannon, but the shell did not hit the animal. The commander declared a reward of $500 to the man who could hit this beast. Camouflage, cool of feature, an old grey bearded gunner, I can see him to this day, approached the cannon, put it in position, and took aim for a good while. There was a mighty explosion, mingled with cheers from the crew. The shell reached its target. It hit the animal, but bounced off its rounded surface and vanished into the sea 2 miles out. "Oh, drat!" said the old gunner in his anger. "That monster must be covered with 6-inch armor plate." The hunt was on again. Hour after hour went by without the animal showing the least sign of weariness. However, it must be said that we too struggled on tirelessly. At 10:50 in the evening, that electric light reappeared 3 miles away from the frigate, just as clear and intense as the night before. Meanings: armor, protective metal covering. Calm, not showing or feeling nervousness, anger, or other strong emotions. Feature, a distinctive attribute or aspect of something. Approached, come near. Mingled, mix or cause to mix together. Bounced off, to deflect or reflect off a surface. Vanished, disappear suddenly and completely. Weariness, extreme tiredness. Tirelessly, with great effort or energy. Reappeared, appear again. An old experienced gunner came forward and took aim and fired. The shell reached the target this time, but it bounced off the animal. It seemed as if the animal was covered in armor. The ship once again started chasing the animal. At 10:50 in the evening, the electric light appeared again. The monster seemed motionless. Was it asleep, perhaps, weary from its workday, just riding with the waves? This was our chance, and Commander Farragut decided to take full advantage of it. He gave his orders. The frigate approached without making a sound, stopped 2 cable lengths from the animal. A profound silence reigned over the deck. We were not 100 feet from the blazing core of light, whose glow grew stronger and dazzled the eyes. Now, children, in this lesson, different passages have mentioned this core of light or this electric light. So, in the beginning of this lesson, we said that this animal is a submarine. So, the light which is coming and going, which is appearing and disappearing, is actually the lights of this submarine which is going on and off. So, if the submarine lights are on, the electric light is on, and that is when, even in the dark, the crew members of the ship are able to see this submarine. And when the submarine switches off the light, this electric light disappears. Let us look at meanings. Profound, deep, weary, feeling or showing extreme tiredness. Reigned, the dominant feature of a situation or place. Blazing, shine brightly or powerfully. Dazzled, amazed or overwhelmed with a particular impressive quality. Now in this passage, it seems as if the monster has gone to sleep. The ship on the commander's order approached the animal without making any sound. As they went closer to it, it seemed as if the animal's light grew stronger. Just then, leaning over the forecastle railing, I saw Ned Land below me, brandishing his dreadful harpoon. Barely 20 feet separated him from the motionless animal. All at once his arm shot forward and the harpoon was launched. I heard the weapon make a ringing sound as if it had hit some hard substance. The electric light suddenly went out and 2 enormous waterspouts crashed onto the deck of the frigate, racing like a torrent from one end of the ship to the other, toppling crewmen, breaking spare masts and yardarms from their lashings. A hideous collision occurred, and thrown over the rail with no time to catch hold of it, I was hurled into the sea. Meanings: brandishing, wave or flourish something, especially a weapon, as a threat or in anger or excitement. Dreadful, causing or involving great suffering, fear, or unhappiness, extremely bad or serious, barely, only just, suddenly, quickly and unexpectedly, enormous, very large in size, quantity, or extent, crashed, cause a vehicle to collide violently with something, torrent, a strong and fast-moving stream of water, toppling, overbalance or cause to overbalance and fall, spare, additional to what is required for ordinary use, yardarms, the outer extremity of a ship's yard, hideous, extremely ugly, collision, an instance of one moving object or person striking violently against another, hold, throw or impel someone with great force. So children, we see in this passage that Ned Land is once again ready to attack. Suddenly, he launches the harpoon at the animal. When the harpoon hits the animal, it makes a sound as if it had hit a hard object. The electric light of the animal gets switched off, and we see that two huge columns of water fall on the ship. Because of this water which falls with such great force, the crewmen lose their balance and they fall. Parts of the ship break and the ship hits this animal or the submarine, and the narrator falls down into the sea. Children, with this, we complete explanation for this lesson. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and take care.